Hi, my name is Aisha and today I'm going to teach you guys how to make some easy vanilla cupcakes. So all we're going to need for these cupcakes is 125 grams of butter, 125 grams of caster sugar, 2 medium-sized eggs, 125 grams of self-raising flour, 2 tablespoons of milk, and a teaspoon of vanilla essence. To combine all of these ingredients, you can either use a stand mixer like I have here, or a hand mixer, which looks like this, an electric hand mixer. Alternatively, you can use a whisk and a bowl just with your hand, and that will be completely okay as well. To cut out cupcakes into cases, we'll need a cupcake tray and then 12 cupcake liners as well. So the first thing you want to do is combine your butter and your caster sugar together in the bowl for about 2 minutes if you're using a stand whisk like I've got here, or for about 5 minutes if you're using a normal whisk and a bowl, just to make sure you've got a nice fluffy consistency. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Just a little reminder that when you are whisking your butter and sugar together, you want to start off at a low speed first and then start gradually building up to a high speed. The most important part when you're using a stand mixer is you don't want your butter and sugar to be going everywhere. So starting off with a low speed first is always better. If you are using your hands, like I said before, you just want to be mixing that for about 5 minutes, and that way you can get a nice fluffy consistency. I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. As you can see here, the butter's gone quite light and fluffy. So this kind of consistency here. What you do want to make sure to do, if you're using a bowl like this, you want to make sure that you're scraping down the sides to get all of the butter and sugar that's not properly combined yet. If you're using a normal whisk as well, you do need to make sure to do this. So just get a spatula like this, or just use your whisk and go around the sides of the bowl to make sure it's all combined properly together. So we finished combining our butter and sugar together. We've scraped down the sides of the bowl and we are happy that it's nice, light and fluffy like this. What we want to be doing next is actually adding in the eggs one at a time. So as you can see in this bowl, we've got 2 egg yolks. So what I want to do first is just add 1 egg yolk and a bit of the egg white. So just like that. Get someone to help you if you need a bit of help with this part, especially with cracking the egg. You don't want to be getting any shell in there. So now we're going to be putting this on a low speed, or just lightly whisking our mixture together if we're using a hand whisk as well. So we're going to go for that. So you want to combine that first egg for about a minute until you can't see any more egg, and then you'll add in the second egg and mix for about another minute. So I'm just going to do that now. Again on low speed. Like before, once we're done with all the eggs being mixed in, we want to make sure to scrape down the sides of the bowl. So I'm just going to do that now, just to make sure that all the ingredients are combined evenly. So I've just scraped and then pop them back into the middle of the bowl, and then mix for about another 30 seconds or so. So now we're going to be adding in our self-raising flour. So that's 125 grams of self-raising flour. You can just add that straight into the bowl. Just put it in nice and slow. Don't dump it straight in, otherwise it could go everywhere. It can be a little bit messy sometimes. Now what you want to do here is, if you're mixing it in one of these mixers, you want to make sure that you're mixing it at a very low speed, otherwise the flour will go everywhere, like I said before. Or you can use a little cover if you have one. If you're doing it by hand, again, same thing. You just want to make sure you're nice and easy and slow. You just want to combine the mixture together without getting flour everywhere and making a mess. Again, you want to make sure to scrape down the sides of the bowl. Our flour is all mixed in very well there. You can't see any more flour. Sometimes what can happen is you can see flour on the sides of the bowl. So what you want to do is just scrape the sides of the bowl with your whisk or a spoon or a spatula and just make sure it's all combined together. Now we just have the last 2 ingredients to add in, which is our milk, which is 2 tablespoons of milk, you can add that straight in. And then just add vanilla essence, which I'm going to use a spatula to help me scrape in because mine's a bit sticky. If you don't have the vanilla essence or extract, it's fine, it's not a big deal, it just makes it taste a little nicer. So now you want to combine this for another 30 seconds or so at a low speed. So we're done with making the cupcake mixture. Now all we need to do is pop some of the cupcake mixture into the cupcake liners. So we're going to do that. All you need for this is a tablespoon like this and a teaspoon like this. So the first thing you want to do is just grab a good amount of cake batter into your spoon, just like this, and then use your little spoon to kind of help push all of that cake batter into one of the cupcake liners, just like that. So I'm going to show you guys how to do another one. So again, just take a big dollop of it into a tablespoon, then use a teaspoon to help you push all of that cake batter into the cupcake liner. It's nice and easy. So you want to do that for all 12 of these. You might end up with a bit of leftover cake mixture, so you can just pop a little bit of these into each of the cupcake trays, or just add another cupcake in another tray. I'm just going to keep this nice and clear. That we have all of our cupcake batter in the cupcake cases here, what we want to do is pop our tray into the oven at gas mark 4 for about 10 to 15 minutes. What you do want to do is make sure you're wearing oven gloves so you're keeping your hands nice and protected, or getting an adult to help you if you need it. For about 15 minutes, your cupcakes should look like this. If they don't for some reason, then maybe keep them in for another minute or 2 at a time. To make sure your cupcakes are cooked, you're going to use a toothpick like you can see here, and then you're going to stick it into one of your cupcakes all the way in, take it out, and just make sure that the toothpick is not sticky at the end and there's no cupcake batter. It should be nice and dry. Might have a few crumbles on it, which is fine, but it should be nice and dry, just like this one is. And that's how you know your cupcakes are done.